All right, guys, we're back here on Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel. A little SEC basketball reaction on a Wednesday night.
Come on.
One game. That's all we had. One game, Max.
It's better than nothing.
Arkansas. That was good enough. Arkansas runs hog wild, as you see in the title. On Texas, 105-85. The Hogs were out and running early in this game, 56 at the half. We'll talk about that. We'll give the updated SEC tournament bracket as it stands after this game, with one game to go. Only one more of these, folks. One more SEC game slate in the regular season. Man, it's gone by fast.
I was talking to one of my buddies that's a diehard college basketball fan this year, and we both agreed this year it feels like it's just gone. It's came and gone, just boom like that. We've got there's the last midweek.
Like that's it.
Yeah.
No more midweek games.
No, that's it. That's the last midweek.
What are we gonna do? Oh, that's right. We got an SEC tournament next week. So kicks off on Wednesday. And we'll tell you who's been playing on Wednesday as of right now, here in just a few. But let's talk about Arkansas real quick. I said my biggest question for Arkansas was how do they respond after they got embarrassed at Florida? Well, they responded, and that's exactly what you want to see.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they just they came out and they were off and running from the jump in this game. I mean, they came out looking like a team that understood the assignment. Like they were energetic, they were into it. And I mean, they were knocking down shots. That always helps. So, Brazile and Acuff both finished with 28 apiece in this game. My goodness. Acuff with 13 assists. Brazile, 2 of those 28 are play of the year candidates. Absolute mojam on Vokietaitis. That one was something. And that was just kind of the story here, Max. It was like you could sort of tell early on Arkansas was in a groove. Texas wasn't going to stop them. I know the Longhorns wound up putting up some points in the second half, but that's what Texas is. And they were trailing and kind of had to reach down a little bit. But man, this was all Hogs right here.
Like EJ said, Big Gator, Arkansas won this thing in the first 2 minutes. Yeah. I think I checked the stats about 9 minutes into the game. It might have been 8, but Texas's assist to turnover ratio as a team was 0-3. Arkansas came out flying on defense. That's what kickstarted it. This was yes, Texas ends up putting up 85, but that kickstart there in the beginning with the defense originally limiting good looks, in isolation, shutting the water off. Pope, I know he played only 4 minutes in foul trouble, so there's an element of the Texas offense that's taken out. But I mean, Swain didn't get going until the second half there. Vokietaitis, good job by Nick Pringle drawing those fouls on Vokietaitis there right at the start of the second half. I thought the defense is what kickstarted this whole thing for the Razorbacks early.
Well, and that's the thing that's been the easiest to pick on with them is just, the defensive consistency, right? I mean, it's like if you looked at, I know they gave up 85 here, but I thought it was still a very focused performance from the start when it really mattered most. When you're playing that well offensively, you're gonna have a little bit of a lapse defensively at times because the other team's kind of pressing a little bit and, understanding they don't want to get beat by 30 here. But like if you looked at some of those games, right, it's one thing to be like, all right, yeah, we looked great against Alabama, but you still give up 117. Even against games like Missouri, right? It's like, we still give up 86. We still give up this, that. And so I think you just wanted to see that, like you said, set the tone early on defensively against an elite offensive team in Texas. And that's what they did. And I think, again, we said this was going to be a front court game. And, you couldn't ask for anything better from Brazile. The guy just came out and you could tell. It was a different look and sort of a different attitude, different confidence. And that played a big role in this one.
Do we have a live quote here from Pooh Bear? Sean Miller right now in the postgame, possibly, on Darius Acuff. Quote, in my 34 years, I've never seen a better point guard.
Is Pooh Bear in the press conference right now?
Well, wouldn't it be live streaming on YouTube? I don't know. Possibly.
He did say that. Here's the quote. Yeah, flat up. He said, in my 34 years, I've never seen a point guard better. So
Sean Miller said that Darius Acuff's the best point guard he's ever seen.
Yeah. Hang on a second.
Wow.
Let me get my pen out here. SEC Player of the Year. Okay. We're done here, folks. We're done. Okay.
Wow.
All right. We're done here.
That's impressive. Sean Miller's been around a long time.
Yeah. So he's been around a long time. That's a hell of a quote right there.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah. Oh.
Here comes Josh. Josh is a paragraph.
Josh is here. $10 super chat. Heard this was a bad matchup for Arkansas. No, sir. That man Darius Acuff had Texas in the eye of the storm. Oh, look at this. We got weatherman puns right now.
Yep.
You gotta do more than one. All right. You can't just have one in there. Although that's pretty good to sneak that one in. Final Four ceiling for sure. Let's get real here. Call the Hogs, Max. Come on. Can you imagine?
I know you're thinking the front court for Texas could potentially find some success here.
Well, by the way, guess how many bad matchups there have been in basketball history where it's one-sided game. It can still be considered a tough matchup, and the other team just comes out and says, you know what? Doesn't matter.
For the amount of, I think I'm victim of it as well, but Hogs fans as well. Just, kind of dogging on Nick Pringle a little bit. He may not stuff the stat sheet, but the fouls he drew on Vokietaitis there, first 2 minutes of that second half, it changed the way that Texas was able to play. Vokietaitis scores 21 in only 24 minutes.
Yeah.
And, that's a big little wrinkle into that game, game within the game, the 5-man fouls. That was big.
Yeah, it is for sure. All right. So Arkansas, yeah, I thought that was the biggest story, like you said, the fouls. That was something we thought could potentially, depending on how Texas played, go the other way. And boy, Texas couldn't make a free throw in this game either. My goodness. When they shoot 50%, 52%? Yeah. Yikes. Not good there.
Kendall Weaver's not in there to make free throws. All right, he's there to bully ball.
They're not a bad free throw shooting team either. The top 100 in the country. I was like, I'm trying to think. I was like, are they a bad? No, they're not a bad free throw shooting team. They just couldn't make one tonight. It didn't matter. But, yeah, anytime I think if you see Arkansas going 11-19 from 3, you're done. Like, you're done for. I don't think you're beating the Hogs. If they shoot an efficient 58% from downtown. And how many times do we have this conversation early in the season? If they get that Trevon Brazile, he's the key, man. He's the ultimate X factor. And
he's the difference maker.
Yeah, he is. All right. We got to get to Braden's super chat in a second, but go for yours, and then we got to.
Yeah, I do have just. Obviously, we're going to focus on the Arkansas side just a little bit more here. There are a lot of implications here for both teams, SEC and national tournament seeding. But a little wrinkle here for Texas. We haven't talked about it too much, but the injury to Lassina Traore, in terms of how they find their success, he has the third highest free throw rate on Texas. So he was a big part of that. Okay, you get a break from Vokietaitis. Well, you still get a guy that's going to put that physicality on you. You still get a guy that's going to pick up a foul or two, and then Vokietaitis comes back in with like the highest free throw rate in the country. But that switch of Traore to Nick Cody, that's a few fouls on the opposing front court lost that Texas was putting on you with Traore getting 15 minutes a game. He draw a few fouls. Nick Cody a little bit thinner, a little bit different of a player. So that's a little, it's not huge, but it's a little wrinkle into Texas, I think, as to why their offense has crept down a little bit. 71 points against Florida, 80 against Georgia, 85 here, and they were losing a lot of it. they really need to get that opposing front court in foul trouble, and Traore was a slight piece of that.
Yeah, their offense is taking a step back a bit over the past couple of weeks. Yeah.
I was trying to figure out why.
Yeah, so we'll see if that's a story. I mean, they're going to have to score, I think, on Saturday to beat Oklahoma, the way the Sooners are playing right now. Which, by the way, did you see? I think it was CBS, their updated bracket today. Oklahoma has made it into the next 4 out.
What?
Are you telling me the Sooners are about to make a run to the dance here? Someone told me that earlier. I haven't looked at it.
I never had a doubt. I
trust these people. So you telling me Oklahoma is in the mix? Oh my! So
that's all you can ask. That's all you can ask for. Just be in the mix.
Yeah, it's going to be ridiculous if they somehow are. We're talking about Oklahoma on the bubble watch next week at the SEC tournament.
The 3-team debate for the last team into the tournament: Miami of Ohio, Oklahoma, and Auburn.
How much do you think this hurts Texas? They lost by 20.
That's what I was gonna bring up when Texas was starting to come back there. Tremont Mark had a few and ones. Dalen Swain had a nice 3 in transition. I'm saying this, and Sean Miller's on his feet. He's trying to get his guys going. I'm saying this is big for Texas here in the second half to not let this thing get out to 25-30. Maybe end this game with only a 15-point loss so you don't get crushed on the analytics. This one's going to ding you a little bit.
Wouldn't it be interesting if we remember, Xavier beat Texas in the first 4 last year. Would it be interesting if Sean Miller's back again, except with Texas this time around?
I mean, there's the other angle to it is the optics, where you've lost 3 of your last 4. And it's a bad look. It's trending down when you want to be trending up.
And your non-conference stinks. But they do have road wins at Missouri, A&M, and Alabama. So that helps. And to be honest, this was like their first, looking at it here, other than Mississippi State, which was January the 3rd, this was really their only bad loss, I guess you could say, in terms of like losing by 20, right? They didn't really get blown out in any other games. So that helps too. I think they're going to be fine. I'm just throwing around ideas here.
I think they're fine if they beat Oklahoma. If they lose to Oklahoma at home and they end the regular season losing 4 out of their last 5, and then they lose an early game in the SEC tournament, it's a bad optic to end the season that way.
We'll get to the bracket in a second. Because right now they're not gonna like, I think, the potential that they would have to work with if they lose that Oklahoma game. Because I think they are going to be in a rough spot in terms of like potential bad loss possibilities. But
that Oklahoma game for Texas is huge because now you have Porter Moser and all of his Sooners saying, hey, look at us. We're not done yet. We may have a very slight pulse, but we win this game by margin and then go do some damage. We're not done yet. And then you've got Sean Miller telling his guys, hey, if you lose, you could be done. This is a huge game.
Yeah. So there's that too. Okay. So there you go. Some thoughts on Arkansas and Texas. And yeah, obviously Arkansas is going to finish with Missouri in Columbia on Saturday. And we mentioned Texas will host Oklahoma. So
what do we think the odds are going to be for Arkansas's Saturday game? On the road at a Missouri team in a semi-desperation spot, coming off of a loss. Don't want to end the season losing 2 in a row. Probably senior night for Missouri. Ken Palm's got it at 4. I think it's going to be more like 2.5.
I'd set it probably Arkansas 2.5. Yeah.
That's pretty. All right. Sign me up.
All right. Saturday. Let's get to this real quick. And I know this, I forgot about these. Josh, $10 super chat. It was a very tropical day for the Razorback offense. A strong cold front was observed for many of the Texas shooters, leading to an unstable atmosphere for a giant L. Now that's well done right there. Now that's what we're looking for with the super chats. So
some things can't be taught, Blake. This guy's a natural right here. This guy's a natural.
Absolute. Again, we need a weather broadcast for all the SEC teams heading into the NCAA tournament. I'm gonna need you to record that and send it to us. And you've got a studio. You've got all of this professional equipment that we don't have. All right, you can do this easy.
Comfortable.
Just tell the station. You know what?
Got this.
Hey, this is for my guys at Southeastern 16. They'll be fine with it. They'll be fine.
Yes.
All right. Brayton asked an interesting question. We're already looking ahead to next season. $5 super chat.
I like it. Nice.
How many Hogs just played their last game in Bud Walton? We'd love to have them all back next season. Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Because that ain't going to happen. But you know my rule. I'm not doing it. They're all gone. I'm not saying anybody's coming back. That's my rule here.
Braden, come to me. Come to me. I'll tinker rosters all day long. All day long, I'll tinker rosters. God. Did you guys? Well, obviously, Arkansas fans have seen it, but did you see the little cryptic tweet there from John Calipari? When is he not being cryptic? But he said he didn't mention Malik Ewan when he was talking about last games in Bud Walton. And if you guys know, Malik Ewan did play the 1 year of JUCO between last year's Florida State season and his first season at Ole Miss. So with the JUCO rule, Malik Ewan does have another year of eligibility. So I believe, unless he leaves, Ewan will be back. So there's a little twist I kind of forgot with that little JUCO eligibility rule.
Yeah. True.
If you had to see, Tammy's all over it. Can't get nothing by her. If you had to put right now, just, okay, friends over at FanDuel, wow, they have a Billy Richmond to return to Arkansas prop. Thank you for doing that. What would you set it as?
Minus 110.
Like 50-50?
Just, I mean, I don't, because that's where, like, I don't have a great answer, so I would go minus 110 just for that
That's
reason.
why I asked it, because I need it. I need another year of Billy, but I also can see every NBA scout going, I want that guy.
Hey, buddy.
I don't care what he shoots. I want that guy. Come on.
Yeah.
We need another year
of
Billy.
It. Give me minus 110. So
fair play.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Barry heard Billy Richmond. He came on in, did a little shake. So maybe that's something we should know. Maybe he's trying to tell us something. So, yeah.
Billy broke his 5-game streak of 20 points. That's all right, because he just grabbed his season high in rebounds with 9.
Yeah.
Tied his season high in blocks with 3. Tied his season high in steals with 3.
Yeah.
Guy does everything.
All right. I'll tell you who else does everything. That's our friends at Ann Collar. Before we get into our SEC tournament update here, Ann Collar, A-N-D, collar.com. Look at what Max Barr is wearing right now. Remember I told you I was getting my shipment in the mail tomorrow? It's already here. It's legitimately, 10 feet away. The Ann Collar shipment is here. We should have done an unboxing live on air. Maybe we'll save that for tomorrow.
Collar unboxing.
Collar unboxing. You can head over there, get your polos, your quarter zips, your button-ups, your pants, and your suits. They invented the Workleisure performance menswear. Unbelievable stuff. And, head over there for 16% off. Sorry, Ann Collar. Trying to task you with an extra 4% there. SEC16, 16% off over at Ann Collar. Incredible stuff. Going to make you look great. All right. ROKFORM, ROKFORM.com, the world's strongest magnetic phone case. Extreme protection, super strong magnets, rock lock, secure mounting, SEC25, 25% off. All their phone cases, their accessories, all that good stuff. 25% off over there. And Icon Wallets. How about Icon Wallets? Check them out. Incredible, officially licensed collegiate wallets. The 3 interchangeable university icons. They got the premium Napa leather. And yeah, head over there for 20% off. SEC16, 20% off. Icon wallets. Got some bully ball voters in the chat.
Yep. Wander on over.
Good.
Max Barr CBB. Get your votes in. Bully ball player of the year. Billy.
Moving towards a record number of submissions already, right?
Yeah, we're about 10 off of our total from last year, and I put the poll up 2 days ago. The bully ball community is growing at a rapid pace. There's no stopping it.
Yeah. All right. There you go. Okay.
Wait, are you about to go to the
Go to what you
tournament?
want to, and then we'll go to that.
Are you about to go to the tournament?
Yeah. What do you want first?
I just wanted to bring up the big announcement from halftime. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
The Hogs fans. Very excited, I saw on Twitter in the comments. Coming soon to Bud Walton, as if Bud Walton needed to get any better. Bud Walton adding the statue of the great. The one, the only. Yep. Love it. A-Cup statue next.
Somewhere someone's already working on the A-Cup statue.
Yep.
We did our national champions bracket challenge this morning for the last 20 national champs. And everybody was like, come on, what about those 90s teams? And so we're going to do a 90s bracket at some point. That's going to be part of the bracket challenge. Okay?
Yes.
And we're going to go with, we're going to get a little Arkansas in there, get a little Cats, get a little UCLA, all those teams from the 90s. We're going to get them put in the
I'm going to have
mix.
to do my homework.
Who else am I thinking? Duke from 99. A lot of good teams in the 90s. So, UConn won in 99. When did Duke win? I'm thinking 2000, right? No, that's Michigan State. What year am I thinking? Duke won it.
You just listed off like 10 teams.
I know. Arizona they won the one in 97. The only reason I remember that, here's a story quickly for you. Mountain Dew used to do they did this game where, tell me, Chad, if you remember this, okay? Old enough to remember. Mountain Dew did something every March where under the top, they would put the name of a college basketball team. If you got the name of the team that won the NCAA tournament, you would get like this big prize. Like they would send you this big prize package. Okay?
What?
Yeah, this was a thing. So underneath the top, they had the teams. All right? And so yours truly, I'm drinking 8 Mountain Dews a day trying to get Kansas one year. And I think it may have been 97. Maybe it was 96. I don't remember what it was. So I get Kansas, and I'm thinking, dude, this is going to be so easy. I just got the Rock Jock Jayhawks here, and I'm about to win this prize package, which I'm sure was absolutely just a bunch of garbage. But I'm like, this is great. And then those bums from Arizona with Miles Simon and all those guys come in, and they beat Kansas in the Sweet 16. I went out, drinking Mountain Dews left and right, trying to get Arizona, North Carolina. I think I did get North Carolina. Arizona beat them too. And I was pissed. So, unreal. Back in the days,
I'm looking it up on
creative.
Reddit right now. There's one person. One of my favorite things that PepsiCo ever did was their early 2000s and 90s NCAA basketball tournament specific bottle cap.
Yeah.
There was also a grand prize winner who won $500,000.
Oh, that could have been me.
Let me tell you, I wouldn't drink water for a month.
Man, unreal.
Can we bring that back? Man.
Well, exactly. There's no creativity anymore. It's all been given to AI. We're not going to bring that back. So, unreal. It was incredible. So
I would turn into a Mountain Dew.
Oh, it was great.
That's a great story.
See, Big Air EJ remembers. He remembers that. Also, I think Warren Buffett was offering $1 billion to whoever does the perfect bracket. So, yeah, Miles Bibby. That's it, Rusty. Oh, it was, or Mike Bibby. Sorry, Mike Bibby, Miles Simon. Was Richard Jefferson on that team? They just destroyed it was terrible. So
Remember Mike Bibby?
back when there was real responsibilities in life, like drinking enough Mountain Dew to get the right team under your cap. So, all right, we'll get our 90s bracket at some point. Speaking of brackets, oh yeah, we're gonna have to do it now. Speaking of brackets, here we go. Are you ready? Here is your updated SEC tournament bracket as it stands right now. So, the only slight changes we have here from before yesterday. We didn't update this, I think, after the games yesterday. So, Arkansas winning, of course, locks up the double bye for them.
Yep.
Florida is in the one spot. We all know that. Alabama and Arkansas now both sit at 12 and 5, so certainly there could be a change depending on the outcome of Saturday's games with those two. Tennessee is at 11 and 6 by themselves. So you could have a bit of a mess with them depending on what happens there, because they could then, potentially drop down, or they would get into a potential three-way tie with the other two teams in Arkansas and Alabama. And so that's something to consider. And then you've got the mess at 10 and 7. And thankfully, this is a pretty easy tiebreaker. So all the 10 and 7 teams you see on the screen right here, folks, are the teams that sit in the second round. That is the Missouri, Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, Kentucky teams. How do we split those right now? Pretty easy, thankfully. Missouri, 3-0 against those teams. So Missouri would be the 5. Vanderbilt is 2-1 against those teams, I believe. Right? No? Maybe I'm wrong about that. No. Is it 2-1?
Vanderbilt.
No, they're
1-1 against
2-2, right?
Yeah.
2-2, not 2-1, because they 1-1 against Kentucky, beat A&M, lost to Missouri, right? So, yeah, so they'd be 2-2. Anyway you slice it, doesn't matter. They're still there because A&M is 1-2, having lost to Missouri and Vanderbilt and beaten Kentucky. And then Kentucky is 1-3, having beaten Vanderbilt but lost to Vanderbilt and Missouri and Texas A&M. So the Cats, unfortunately, are the bottom team of this group because they have the worst percentage record. 1-2 is better than 1-3. So that is where it sits right now. And then by virtue of Texas losing, Georgia jumps up to the 9 because those two teams are tied right now at 9 and 8. And they actually have a pretty nice little tiebreaker there. They split the regular season between each other. Then it goes to the top. Neither beat Florida. However, they both beat Alabama. And then guess who it goes to? It goes to Arkansas. Texas just lost to Arkansas. Georgia beat Arkansas. Georgia's the 9. And then Auburn still the 11. Oklahoma has moved, or actually they've swapped spots with Mississippi State in the 12-13. And then everything else has stayed the same. Ole Miss 14, LSU 15, South Carolina 16.
Right now, I'm trying to go back to that Vanderbilt Missouri game that was 80-81 to see the exact play that was the difference between the seeding, because that's the game.
Yeah.
Oh, so there wasn't a lead change late. It was a 4-point game, and then Nickel made a 3 to make it 1 point. I thought there might have been a lead change late that you could have pointed to, like, okay, this T.O. Barrett layup is the difference between Missouri getting a 5 and Vanderbilt getting a 6, because 81-80, that's the difference in the seeding for those two teams.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of your setup. Again, I think I'm not going to go through all the what ifs or whatever. I just don't think it's not really worth it. I mean, there's just too many games still to be played on Saturday. So the biggest thing, again, to know is that obviously Florida's locked in. Arkansas and Alabama all locked into the double bye. So it's really just a matter of seeing what happens with Tennessee. Vanderbilt's going to be a big mover because, if Tennessee wins, then obviously, they lock up the that double bye, and then you're going to have a mess after that potentially with the other teams. But if Vanderbilt wins, then things could get a little interesting with lots of potential tiebreakers depending on the outcome of the other games. So
I don't think Vanderbilt wants that 6 seed. It just took them overtime for Ole Miss. Auburn I know they beat Auburn at Auburn, but still, plenty of talent. Sandwiched right underneath Arkansas.
mm-hmm.
You want nothing to do with that spot if you're Vanderbilt.
No, you'd much rather be the 4, and not just because of the bye, but I think that even though you've lost to Missouri and Oklahoma, I still think you would prefer that draw, knowing you're going to have to play Florida, but it is what it is. I mean, you got to play them at some point probably anyways. So, yeah.
Right.
That is what it is. So
I like it.
All right.
Shaping up.
There you go. So that's what it is right now. Don't worry. If I got one of the tiebreakers wrong, somebody can let me know. But
round of applause for Blake doing all the tiebreakers.
Well, this one was easy. I mean, luckily this one was easier. I think the Vanderbilt-Tennessee game could really, you're going to talk about some wild tiebreakers. If Vanderbilt wins that game and you look at kind of what could happen with the other games, it could get a little interesting, but a lot of that too is going to depend on, can Missouri beat Arkansas? Can Kentucky beat Florida? A&M's. So, yeah, it's still a lot to be determined. But, all right. So there's that.
Before we hop off, we don't have to do it right now, but I want to do a little just quick wrap up of results from tonight.
Yeah, do that, because we're not gonna do a normal kind of public show in the morning. We're gonna do our SEC predictions live for our members. So we'll do that for our featured games in the morning. Time TBD right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw the link in the chat because our schedule's kind of a bit wild tomorrow. So we won't do a public stream. So, but if you want to become a member, come sit in on the predictions live, be an MVP or legend here at the channel. Sit in live, because that'll be kind of our live show for tomorrow. And then we'll come back on Friday after you get all your predictions tomorrow, of course.
Yep.
We'll come back on Friday with bracketology heading into Saturday and all that. So
it's a big weekend. It's a huge Saturday. The last regular season Saturday. Gotta do something special for breakfast.
That's true. I didn't think about that. I
will say, my mom and my sister were visiting me this past weekend. They flew out of New York today. I had a nice French toast for breakfast this morning. It's been a while since I had a nice slice of French toast. Get me going on the nice Wednesday in the first week of March. Okay. Results from around the nation that are going to impact potentially tournament stuff. Cal on the road at Georgia Tech. That was about a 2-point spread. Cal goes and wins by 11. Cal is going to be in the first 4 out, I believe, of most bracketologies you see tomorrow. Elsewhere, a lot of just like OVC and Northeastern Conference tournaments. Indiana is probably the biggest one of the night, to be honest. 30-point win. I think the spread was 6, Blake. 30-point win at home against Minnesota. Indiana, where were they on Bracket Matrix? They were the first team out yesterday on Bracket Matrix. So Indiana with a 30-point win. I know it's Minnesota, but still, they outperformed that spread by like 24 points. I think Indiana's now going to grab an at-large. Bad for Auburn there. SMU loses at home on senior night to Miami by 8. I believe SMU was favored by a point. Miami is now playing pretty well. They're an 8. That might have just either that puts them up, locks them at the top of the 8, or Miami could be looking at a 7 now. And for SMU, Blake's theory might be coming true.
So you're telling me there's a chance that SMU is going to be the first team out of the field? Because I'm telling you right now, it's setting up that way. They've lost 3 in a row at Cal, at Stanford, home against Miami, and now they got to go play a tricky road game at Florida State, who's actually played really well here over the past month. Like, Florida State's been pretty good. So I think SMU is, yeah.
Disaster for the Stangs down the stretch. Only a few more to wrap up here. Ohio State, they're a team similar to like kind of throw them into kind of that like TCU, UCLA, VCU range of bubble teams that are just killing it right now. Ohio State has been on a tear, and they were on the 11 line on Matrix yesterday. They're going to be off that after a 32-point win on the road. I know it's Penn State, but that's ridiculous. And they've just been playing so hot.
They play Indiana on Saturday. So that one's in Columbus, Indiana, Ohio State. So that's a big game.
That's a big time game for the bubble right there. Yep. And then Villanova is going to go ahead to beat DePaul. And seeding expectations there up at the top for Purdue the waters are becoming pretty muddy, Blake. Purdue's sliding. They've dropped down on bracket matrix to one of the last 2-3 seeds with Texas Tech. I guess you can kind of put Purdue and Texas Tech as like two teams that have great resumes when you look at the whole season, but they're sort of fading right now. If Purdue drops this game at Northwestern, which they're down by 6 right now with 15 minutes left, Alabama, Arkansas, any of these teams that want to win out and potentially try to steal a higher seed, you're rooting for Northwestern to try to keep knocking Purdue down.
Yeah, I think, that's what we said. Like, bubble-wise, I don't know how great it's been for some of the SEC teams. I mean, especially Auburn, and maybe Texas, based on some of the results. But I think, like, things are working out not so bad for that group of Alabama, even in a loss at Georgia last night. Arkansas, Tennessee, Vanderbilt. Like, I think you're like okay for right now, because like we said too, remember they're being chased by that. We got to come up with a name for these 6 seeds. Like this group of 6 seeds, we've got to come up with a name for them. I don't know what it is, but they're being chased by a group that you just don't have a lot of confidence in right now. I know bracket matrix.
There's a big separation between the 6 and 7 and the 5.
Yeah, and bracket matrix updated this afternoon, and Wisconsin jumped BYU for the final 6 seed. So that's not a surprise to me. We had mentioned, I think, that possibility. BYU dropping down, that's just, I think, going to happen. So all that to say, I think that you're getting
did Matrix update today? Oh, it did.
So it did update with some new brackets, and
okay,
there's still a sizable gap between UConn and Florida right now, which I don't think the gap should be that big. But again, if Florida wins, it'll all take care of itself if they keep winning.
Right.
Alabama really did not drop down much. I mean, again, that's what they had a little help, because like Kansas didn't really move much, but some of that too was you're still factoring in a lot of brackets from before yesterday's results at bracket matrix. So there's not a lot of movement necessarily, but there was enough with some of these updates that Wisconsin jumped BYU, and I think you had a little bit of a shuffle elsewhere with maybe the 7s and 8s a little bit. Yeah, but that's about it. And again, Auburn is continuing to move a little further down, I believe.
Yeah, Auburn now with Indiana and with Indiana, TCU, and Ohio State, who all saw themselves in the last 2 weeks at some point out on the outside looking in. With all those 3 teams doing well, and with the inevitable multiple bid stealers, I'm growing less and less confident that Auburn can make it.
Yeah, we bashed Indiana the other day, but after this game tonight, like I don't think you could put Auburn in ahead of Indiana. I just don't think you could.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what we said. That's like we can only talk about the results we have at the time, and this is where we knew it. Like, this is where games are going to start affecting you if you're Auburn, like that aren't just your games, because you've unfortunately allowed these other teams to kind of stay right there, and your win over LSU just isn't, it's not going to move the needle very much.
Who are we going to pick tomorrow morning, folks? Auburn or Alabama? The road team is 1-3 in a row. Become a member.
we'll have that tomorrow morning. And, then we will, again, come back for the public on Friday morning. That's our plan right now. And, we will have bracketology going into the weekend. We'll do another bracket challenge of some sort. I'll have one ready for you. But, predictions live tomorrow will be a fun and exciting adventure for MVPs and legends. We'll probably do some predictions. We may just have a little chat, too. All that kind of stuff. We'll have some fun with it tomorrow morning there on that. So, all right. Do us a favor. Hit the like button on your way out. Hit the subscribe button. Turn on your notifications so you know when we go live. I was looking at the schedule for Saturday. Our live show schedule could be we may go 8 times on Saturday. Who knows?
Might just click live and not hit end stream all day.
Yeah. We might just say, all right, guys, we're setting the live at 11 a.m. I'm going to go head to lunch. I'll be back in an hour.
Yep.
Discuss amongst yourselves. Just, I don't know. Because, the slate on Saturday, oh, man.
We're going to come back, and the chat's going to be picking a bracket of colors.
Yeah, maybe so. All right. Shout out to Tammy. $5 super chat. Thanking us for all we do. Yeah, it's only day 4 of March. The fun has begun. So, there you have it. All right. By the way, Richard asked just real quickly on the way out. Hope we don't have to play South Florida in the tournament. Who do you think will be the weakest 12 seed? Just quickly, get on the way out here.
Oh, what a question, Rich. Nice. What an exercise. Okay.
I mean, it's probably going to be...
It's not South Florida or Belmont. They're going to be 2 of the best.
No, you're really choosing between Yale and Liberty, and I think it's probably Liberty in that instance. But could a Stephen F. Austin sneak in there potentially? I think it's possible. But, yeah.
I would say Liberty.
Probably Liberty.
But South Florida might be an 11.
Yeah,
with the way that their analytics have been climbing up. I'd probably say Liberty. I'm never going to say Yale. I'm never saying if Yale's a 12 seed, I'm never saying they're the worst. I don't care what they are that year. It's Yale.
I mean, Richie McKay, big fan. He does a tremendous job at Liberty. But and they're a very experienced team, but they are 3, which is not a surprise. They're 364th in height. So I think that would be, teams like that, you would worry a little bit if you're Arkansas.
Holy smokes.
So
have you looked at what their lineup is height-wise? Like what they play?
They start like 6'5" across their. I mean, they start a couple guys under 6 under 6 feet, don't they?
Here's their height: 5'10", 5'11", 6'3", 6'5", 6'7". That's their starting lineup. Yeah, I'd say
they work their style, man. There are a few teams in the country that work their style as well as Liberty. Like they've got a style, and I mean they're a top 5 3-point shooting team, and they get 39% of their points from 3. So I don't want to call them weak, but among the group, that's probably still the matchup. I think it's them or Yale. So
Liberty has beaten Dayton. They've beaten Florida Atlantic. They've beaten Charleston. They have some good mid-major wins, but their only high major game was against NC State, and they lost by 40. Yeah.
So I think that's it.
Thanks for the question, though. That was a fun one.
We appreciate Richard. We appreciate the kind words. Appreciate you guys, of course, as always. Tomorrow morning, predictions for MVPs and legends. Have some fun with it. All right. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon here at Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel.